The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Here with the same team as yesterday. It's Noah, it's Brian, and it's Sean. What's up, guys?
I've got a really big team. Wait, what's that song? Does anyone know it? It's a great song.
What?
Hey, I was
That
thinking.
doesn't sound like a song. That sounded like words spoken.
Well, it's rap.
Sound like what Nikki just said.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Kicked off Groupon's annual investors meeting.
Is podcast called podcast because of the iPod? Like, did they get away? Did Apple get away with like branding this entire
like Kleenex
genre? Yeah.
or dumpster?
Yeah.
Do you know dumpster is not what it is?
No.
That's
what?
that's a brand name.
No, it's not.
No.
I could be wrong, but look it up. This this might be so embarrassing. Like, I had a moment this weekend like this. I'll tell you in a second. But I do think that dumpster might be a brand name.
Dumpster was invented by Harvey Dumpster in
No, it wasn't. I think it's a brand name.
Dumpster. The
Okay.
Dempster brothers in 1936 trademarked the
Sounds
word
like
dumpster.
it. Sounds like it. Yes.
Whoa.
Q-tip. Kleenex. Dumpster.
Band-Aid.
Whoa.
Band-Aid. They
Xerox.
call
Oh
it
my God.
plastas in England. Plasters for a Band-Aid.
That
Oh, really?
sucks.
Mhm.
The Dumpster Brothers is so I think you should leave coded.
So was Brian saying I love my whole team.
We got a
know
really
that?
big team.
I got a really big team. I love my whole team, actually.
What's the song?
I just wanted a group of people that were all really bad people to get together. Like, I just wanted to make a group of really, what is that one? You got to watch the Tim Robbins skateboard video where he's putting together a team of like, what is the team? I don't even understand what. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I'm like, what team is he forming? Just a group of people that skateboard together?
Yeah, like a skateboarding group.
He just wants to be a really bad person. He wants people to think he's a really bad person. He wants, when people leave the room, he wants them to say, man, that guy is a piece of shit. It makes no sense, but it makes all the sense.
Yeah. It's Drake and Future. I got a really big team and they need some really big rings. They need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. It's about Drake and Future talking about how when they get a deal with a record label, you also got to pay the team and everyone needs really big rings. And why? Because I have a big team.
Okay.
That's that song.
Speaking of really big rings and buying things for your team, I got you guys some jewelry for the Golden Globes that you both have.
You did, and it's
You
like
did.
truly the nicest thing I own now.
That's what I said.
I realize I love giving cool gifts that like elevate someone. I got some people on my team that were, like we had a bunch of people on the Golden Globes team, but there were some, members that were that were involved from the beginning to end in like a very serious, dedicated way. And so Chris and I got them Rollies, Rolexes, and Emily sourced them and found them. It took forever. They just got them last week or like a couple days ago. And they're engraved and they say Golden Globes 2025.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
they're really cool.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
They're so cool. Thank you so much. I now know to hide my arm while like being out on the street.
Yeah, you are more prone to assault. But it was just like a cool thing to do. This weekend I was able to give Sean his in person. And then later on in the night, he was wearing it. And I was like, whoa, that's a nice watch. Like, it caught my eye. So I was like, oh, it works.
Yeah.
This is really nice.
That is a really nice one. I mean, it's ridiculous. There was that one story with like Chris Rock or something there was a story where Chris Rock, I think it was for Top 5 or something, or maybe it was a stand-up special where he like brought in like 5 comedians, like Louis C.K. was one of them, to help him write for this script or for his special or something like that.
Mhm.
And then he gave them all, maybe it was even Rolexes or it was $5,000. And when I heard that story back then, I was like, that's ridiculous. And never in a million years would I think that I would be in a position to receive something like that for a similar reason.
Oh, you guys definitely deserved it. And yeah, it is crazy when you I was just having that moment today when I was like posting about my sold out shows in Boston, like 6 shows at this gigantic theater that is bigger than the theater I was at last year in Boston. And I did 2 shows at the Wilbur, and it was like, whoa, that's incredible. And then it's 5 shows at this even bigger theater. And I was like thinking, oh, I remember when like Ali Wong started doing like 5 shows, 2 more added, 7 shows, 11 shows, like, and just being like, that is awesome for her. And that isn't even something that would ever, it wasn't even like, it's like the way I think about having kids now. I'm just like, good for them. Like, that is literally never going to happen for me. I don't even like, I'm not even mad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I used to think about those kind of things. And I want to just say to anyone who, might look at someone's life and get like jealous, or I wasn't even jealous. It was just like it was just like, well, that's just a different kind of comedy that someone's doing. Mine's never going to be that accessible, or I'm never going to be that beloved because I'm not lovable. So that's fine. Like, that was my reasoning, was like, I am not, like, some people like me, but it's never going to be thousands in one city. Like, it's just impossible. And it wasn't even like, I really promise you, I wasn't like sad about it. I was just like, yeah, that's just the way it goes. Like, I think I grappled with this early on when Amy Schumer like blew up, and, you know, we had all been kind of like on the same level. She was always kind of like skyrocketing ever since I met her. But when she reached the levels of like train wreck and stuff, I just remember being like, there's not even anything I can let in my body of jealousy or like, why her, not me? Like, it's so on a different level that like, I don't even, it's like comparing yourself to Neil Armstrong. Like, it truly felt like I'm friends with someone who's doing something different than me, even though we're in the same field. So having those kinds of moments is really cool when they come through and you're like, oh, whoa, that's me now. Yeah. Okay. So someone else is looking at my profile going, well, that'll never be me. I'm telling you, girl, it could be. You don't even fucking know. You don't know anything.
You know shit.
It could be you. Someone
You're
could give you
stupid,
a gift someday. You're not smart, and you need to. Yeah, you need
no,
to.
No, but the Rolex is amazing. I've never had a nice watch. In fact, for my wedding, even I didn't even wear a watch, because when I bought my suit from the suit lady, she said, because I wear that like Casio watch all the time, and she said, if you wear that watch while wearing this suit, I'm not going to give you the suit. And so I didn't wear a watch at all. And I would have worn this Rolex for sure if I had it at the time.
Now you could get like really married.
You need to you need to get divorced and remarried. I think that's what this calls for. Truly.
But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I can't wait to wear it at the next Golden Globes.
Yeah.
It ties everything together. Like, I was wearing it with like a hoodie, and I felt like, you know, like, oh my God, I'm like a tech billionaire. This is incredible. Like, look at how dressed down I am.
Yeah, it does make you feel cool.
The truth.
It's fun. It was really fun. I'm not saying that to. I just was like excited about it this weekend. I just like, it's really fun to give gifts. Do you guys like getting gifts or giving gifts more? And we don't like. I know it sounds like I'm a hero or something, because I'm like, I just like giving, but I think getting gifts can be truly uncomfortable.
And you also had a reason to give it, right? Like, it wasn't kind of, you weren't like put on the spot. And it was like kind of like a reward.
There's nothing better
when you
than like a corporate.
Yeah, they weren't just like living one more year, like their birthday. You know, like that to me is just like, sorry, that's not like good enough. It's like, because you like, or like you deserve, you worked so hard. Yeah,
a gift as a work reward is like, I think, one of the best types of gifts.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. Like, it was like, oh my God, like, we went above and beyond. This is amazing.
Well, I got a work gift today too. Oddly enough, from another person I gave this same gift to. He sent this before he even got his. But Mike Gibbons, our
Gibby Susu,
our head writer on the Globes, he sent Chris and I the Stanley Tucci, like, I think the New Yorker did a Stanley Tucci cartoon, you know, of like the cologne. Maybe it was New York Magazine.
Yeah.
But he had that framed and sent to us.
Oh,
that's
of
so
like
nice.
the cologne, which was called what was it called again? Why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah.
It was actually Ballroom Salmon. Which was, let me say, a Seth Meyers joke. Seth Meyers gave us that line of Ballroom Salmon, because had been maybe flirting with doing another bit with us, and he had just written that or texted it or something, and we all laughed at Ballroom Salmon. And I wrote him and I said, hey, we're not doing that bit where you riffed that, but can we use Ballroom Salmon somewhere else? And he was like, go for it. He's so funny. So that's kind of how things get made sometimes.
Yeah, that's the process. Remember how we were talking about that yesterday?
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so it's from the eastern tip of Italy where this type of joke writing comes from, and we used a little bit of Fort Lauderdale flair. Like, I'm sorry, that's what bothered me, was that the dish that was being made was like, they said it was like from a part of Italy or whatever, or from like a part of Turkey or something, and like the region that I've never heard of. And then they go, but we used a little local flair with it. And it's like, well, Fort Lauderdale? Like, that's what's the opposite of elevates the dish?
You have to use the word local when it's about Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, you can't say.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's like suntan lotion. Like,
the hummus had an SPF of 45. It just, it was. I'm still feeling regretful that I'm making fun of that, because I think some people do care. But I also was saying this weekend, it's almost like a hack meme at this point to make fun of the paragraphs of writing that comes before a recipe when you find it online. No one reads it.
Oh yeah.
And why does no one
always
read it?
presses jump to the recipe, which I learned from Julie Glaser, by the way.
Really?
I didn't realize that there was a tab that says jump to the recipe. You could skip all of it pretty fast until I talked to your mom, and she's like,
I wish there was
a
a tab on a waiter's head. Skip to bringing this to me. Skip to putting it down and leaving. Also, here's another pet peeve of restaurants. What a fucking bitch I am. I'm so sorry if you work in the restaurant industry and you're like, we're trying our best and these are actual things we have to do or we'll get docked pay or written up, because I know some places are so dumb. But okay, so if you're ordering a bunch of dishes at a restaurant and they come over and like, why is it that they never know where? Okay, I'm going to get so much pushback because people are going to be like, we have enough to remember. Why does the person who's bringing them never know where they're going? And they always, and this is also a problem I have with people I'm dining with. Everyone always kind of doesn't know what they ordered. And I can see my plate. I can tell from beneath my plate, the weight of it, what it is. And I go, me, right away. But sometimes they'll be like, the the chicken enchiladas. And everyone will look at each other like a murder mystery. Like, who done it? It's like 5 seconds, which is too much of silence until someone's like, I guess that's mine. And it's like, what? You just ordered. Are you not hungry and thinking about this? Like, put it, and then they set it down. And sometimes I just wish they just set it all down and then let us all kind of distribute it, because the hovering and the questioning just slows things down.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I think about this quite often because I always try to give like a pause in that moment, because I feel like I'm just fat enough where I can't be so excited to be like, oh, that was mine. Like, it's also why
so you're fat enough that like you don't want to be the guy who jumps the gun on like hearing any food is yours, and then everyone at the table is like, wow, Sean's so fat he just thinks every dish is.
Yeah, we have the bacon cheese. That's mine, and it's not even yours.
That's so adorable, because that is a really good point. I have to factor in that people are like cautious of how they might be perceived in different circumstances. Like, that is a very interesting detail of your personality that I did not think about. But I also have that with different things where I'm like, everyone assumes I'm like this, so I can't. At the karaoke place where they kept putting in my comedy bits in the title of the person's name.
You don't want to seem like
I felt so narcissistic thinking that was me. But I will say the other thing I flubbed this weekend so hard, and I was so embarrassed, but then I redeemed myself, was we were trying, like, like how I always have like, well, actually, fun fact, dumpster is a brand name. And then everyone goes, no, it's not. And I go, check it. Yes, it is. And I just like school everyone because I read something late at night on Reddit that I retained for once in my life. And I like stake my whole identity on these little factoids. But so I had one this weekend that was like, we were talking about the Nike logo. No, we were talking about I forget who we were talking about Larry Bird or something, like a white guy in the NBA. And I was like, oh, you know, the Nike logo is like not Jordan. It's like some random white guy from the 80s. And everyone was like quietly, but like they were all like, we're not going to like tell her she's wrong because we're scared of her. But that's not right. And then someone finally was like, I think it's Michael Jordan. I'm like, no, it's actually a white guy from the 80s. And everyone was like, no. And then everyone looks it up and it's like very clear. And then I look it up and I'm like, shit, it's Jordan. What am I getting this from? What is this? And then I was like, you guys, I swear to God, there is some logo that everyone thinks is Jordan and is not. I promise you.
Yes.
And it turns out it's the NBA logo. So I was redeemed. Thank fucking God.
Yeah,
but I was
Jerry
like,
West. Jerry West.
Okay, it's Jerry West. And he's not a random
I thought it was
guy.
Adam Sandler.
But the NBA logo is like a guy like dribbling and he's kind of like, you know, he's not, it's not the dunk, Jordan
Very
dunking.
demure.
I do know that. Yeah, but the swoosh is actually
It's not the swoosh,
white
it's
guy.
Air Jordan.
It's a white guy's canoe. And everyone thinks it's
Like the swoosh is just a swoosh.
no, it's a canoe.
No, the swoosh is an Indian sign of peace.
But I got I
Well,
hate those
similarly,
moments where-
the reason why I don't announce that that's my dish is because I don't want to be wrong. Because sometimes they come out and they say something that wasn't on the menu. Like if you ordered like,
or they call it the official name.
Exactly. And if I ordered a French onion soup, and then they come out and they say, "Did someone order like the onion pasté?" And I have to wait. And you're like,
yeah, like if they're like nacho ordinary nachos, you're like, but I think I ordered ordinary nachos, so you get like
right.
That is just a weird moment where everyone is just kind of looking at each other like, is it you? Like and then everyone's kind of like scared to speak up about it. Like I'm just start clocking it because I think it happens to everyone where everyone's a little bit nervous, but maybe it's because we all don't want to seem overeager and fat. Like gimme food, like anything. All right.
Yeah, I often think like when food hasn't come out in a really long time and you're like waiting at the table for a really long time, I'm like, I really have done the math on this that like I can't ask where the food is.
Wait, what do you mean?
It looks like
because you're too fat to ask?
Yeah.
Sean.
I don't want them being like, oh, this guy thinks he's starving to death because he's waited 15 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay, I will say similarly, when I was super thin, I could never say I didn't want to eat anything because I would think that everyone thought I was being anorexic. So like I would always have to eat anything that anyone ever gave me because I would always fear that they would be like, she's just like being sneaky and weird. And then they would judge me and talk about me behind my back. So I would always like overeat in front of people to prove the opposite. So it's a similar thing. It's like you're just trying to get ahead of what people are going to say. But I would never in a million years, if you were checking on food, be like, man, he's so fat. He needs ever.
Well, I'm not worried about like the people I'm at a table with. I'm worried about like the waiter being like, there's a fat guy who's real eager to eat.
Oh my God.
And then they just start like roasting my ass behind my back. I'm so worried about what people think about me behind my back that I don't care what they say to me to my face.
Okay, do you want to know though, like if you could have a recording of like the cook, the waiters talking to the chef about you, if you knew it happened, would you want to hear it?
I don't think so.
No.
Because then it's like my worst fear is like confirmed.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go to break and I'm going to tell you a thing I told everyone this weekend that I want to just get I want Brian and Noah to weigh in on what you think about this and how you would handle this after this. Okay, so speaking to the fact of like Sean saying he wouldn't want to hear, he's like kind of concerned what people are saying behind his back, wants to control it, doesn't want to actually know the details. We were talking this weekend about if you were to accidentally send, when you're talking shit about someone, a text to the person you're talking shit about.
Yeah.
We've all almost done it, or we've all done it, right? Like you're saying the person's name and you just are thinking the name, so you write it to them.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. So I made a promise to my team this weekend that if they ever accidentally send me, and I'll extend this to Noah and Brian as well, literally anyone listening, literally anyone, if you ever, that has my number, if you send me a text that is talking shit about me and it's supposed to be about me to someone else, if you just write, oh my God, and fill up the screen so that I can't see it, and then write, Nikki, I'm so sorry. I just sent the wrong text to the wrong person. I will not scroll up and read it. I promise you 1000%. In fact, I will blur my eyes. I will click more. I will select all the texts and I will delete them so that and I promise you, I will not read it because I don't want to know what people are saying about me behind my back. What do you think of that? And do you think I know in my heart that I'm 100% sure that this is true because I don't want to know what people are saying about me. But would you guys do the same?
I mean, it would be if the person knew the thing and was going to send me a bunch of texts afterwards and tell me not to read it. I mean, I don't know.
Right
if I
away,
could do
they
it.
realize I'm talking to Brian, and then they go, "Oh my god!" and they just write like XXXXXXX, and they like send it up, so it's scrolled up, right? So it's hidden.
Yeah.
And then below the X's, they write, "Hey Brian, I accidentally sent you a text that was meant for someone else. Please don't read it. I really appreciate it. Would you read it?"
Well, are they saying please don't read it because it's like shit talking me, or are they saying please don't read it because it's like private?
Doesn't matter. I mean, you can assume.
Let's
assume
talking?
they're not going to say I was shit talking you.
Yeah.
They're just going to say please don't read it.
Yeah, I would. Okay, if it was shit talking me, I would be like, why don't you just tell me this? I would be mad that they weren't telling me the thing that's bothering them to my face.
Do you not talk shit about people, Brian?
I mean, I've talked shit to you about many people before.
I know, but would
Mostly
you say it
it's
to their
like
face?
creatively, I only talk shit about like people in a creative sense. Like if someone does something creatively horrible, I can't help but say how horrible it is and how they don't deserve to live.
Right. So you would probably say that to that person's face too, because don't you understand the idea of like someone might not want to say it to your face?
Would I say it to their face? No, I wouldn't say it to their face. Probably
but your
not,
response is, why don't you say this to me?
Like, if they're my friend, they have my number, and they're texting.
Oh,
and they're
they
like,
have your number.
It really pissed me off that Brian keeps canceling plans 5 minutes before the or whatever. I'd be like, you need to tell me this so that I understand the problem. And I try to make it better.
That's healthy.
That's very healthy. See, me, I know I'm too nosy. Like, I would want to know what they say. And then I would never confront them about it. What I would do is I would really just like hold on to it forever and just think about like, this is what this person really thinks about me.
Oh boy. Yeah.
But I've also gotten into trouble with this in the past. So
like in what way?
I know not to do this.
That's a funny one.
Wait.
Can you talk about it in like without specifics? Yeah.
Yeah, my friend broke up with his girlfriend once, like an old girlfriend, and he text messaged me saying they broke up, and he's like, "Hey, don't tell anyone about this." And then I immediately was text messaging my roommate to tell him about it, and I was like, "Blake broke up with his girlfriend," but I just texted it to him. Like,
oh my god!
Right after he said, "Don't tell anyone."
Oh my god!
And then Sean tried to make it seem like it was a joke because it was so obvious. Like right after, and the guy was like, "No, we know you're not joking."
Like I really tried to play it off like where it's like, "There's no such thing as stupid questions." Like, question: is there such thing as stupid question?
Yeah. Oh, it could have maybe worked. It's nice try. Oh, that's rough. That's so rough.
So I'm very selective with who I talk shit about over text. There's like 5 people. None are on this.
You don't want there to be if you're talking shit, it's best to talk about shit in person because you don't want there to be a written record. On the off chance that somehow they get your cell phone and they search for their name in your texts and they find it.
Yeah, but that is like, then that friend sucks. If they're like searching through your phone looking for their name, like fuck you. Like that's so lame. Like you deserve to hear shit talked about you. But also like, I just think, who was it that, Elisa Traeger on her special just had a thing about like, I think everyone should just talk, like talking shit is fun. And like, I guess, I don't think she made this point, but maybe she did. I just feel like if I'm allowed to talk shit, then people should be allowed to talk shit about me. I like expect it. I would be sad if you guys didn't. It wouldn't like really, Sean, if you didn't talk shit about me, it would not go with your personality. You like have to, like it just.
I really don't. Like,
I bet you don't. Like I'm protecting myself being like, he doesn't. But if you found out you did, it would not bother me because like I would. I'm so weird.
Yeah, what are you
so
talking
annoying,
about,
and you're
Sean?
around me so
what about the
much.
thing you told me just the other day?
One time in
Brian.
8th grade, I found a note that like I think one of us was like sharing our old notes or something. Like, we were going through in 8th grade. We would always write each other notes and we'd always save them. And I was going through like Kirsten's notes from Hala or whatever. And they were all talking shit about me wearing makeup for the first time and how I thought I was so cool and like how I wore too much and I didn't even wear it right. And it was devastating. And I remember them like seeing that I saw it and then I had to protect them. Do you ever do that where you like get mad about something and then you have to protect the person you're mad at?
There's this video of this man, and it was like in the 50s or the 60s, and it was being recorded, and it was in Congress, and this guy, this congressman, takes out a gun and he shoots himself in the head, and it's all on film, and you can watch.
Oh wait, are you talking about our Bud Dwyer?
Yeah, we know about Bud Dwyer.
Dwyer, but
I probably reference Bud Dwyer every week.
So Bud Dwyer. So right before he kills himself, everyone is like, "Oh my God, stop!" And he goes, "No, it's okay, pop!" And then he shoots himself.
Yeah,
it's
the equivalent of him, like if it's like him protecting them from thinking that this is bad. That's feeling bad about him shooting himself in the head.
Oh,
I think about Bud Dwyer.
Yeah, he goes, no, it's okay, pop.
No, it's not. I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's almost like he's saying, I'm not shooting you guys. I'm shooting myself. It's fine.
But little does he know, it's like devastating to watch that.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's something that I'll never forget where I was seeing that video for the first time, because the first time I ever saw like somebody like act, or like maybe the only time I realized I
don't think I've ever seen anyone die.
People die until I saw
horrible.
that video.
I hate those fucking videos. They should be taken off the internet.
And the person who showed me was laughing the entire time because he.
Oh dear.
He told me he was going to show me the funniest fail. And then showed me that, and it like traumatized me. It was Norm Macdonald who did this.
That was not a fail. That was a success.
I swear.
Okay, now I like
it. His office to be like, "This is the funniest fail you'll ever see," and then it was a guy shooting.
No, dude, don't ever, Bessies, don't watch the video. It's not worth it. It's not gonna like be interesting enough. It'll just
traumatize you, and then it's stuck in your head forever, and really sticks with you.
How many Reddit threads have I seen of Ask Reddit where it's like, what's the most disturbing thing you've ever seen on Reddit? I love reading about them, and Bud Dwyer comes up quite often, but there are so many more. Like teen boys see the craziest shit, like Faces of Death, that compilation that used to go around. Like I've heard the most, I don't even know how these people are functioning. I really think people have PTSD from stuff that they have watched on the internet without question. If you watch like a beheading video, that used to be going around.
Yeah.
Police shootings.
Come on.
I refuse to do that. And I am like, I think, yes, it's just fucking you up. You are getting PTSD. And then it makes you think that life is like cheap and meaningless. And then you get like these like
desensitized.
Desensitized. Like I have a friend who was addicted to porn who I think you guys, some of you know, but when
I
he was
don't really
trying
know myself that well, but okay.
He was trying to, quit his porn habit. So he started watching ISIS beheading videos so he wouldn't get horny anymore.
Whoa, that is the dumbest, most twisted logic I've ever heard.
I don't even understand.
Now I'm talking shit.
So when he was like horny, he would like ruin his boner by watching beheading videos.
Which
I
to
need
me
to find out who this person is off air. That is truly insane. And that person, I feel so sad for them.
And now all he's doing is getting horny to the beheading video.
Exactly.
Right. I would be so worried about rewiring my brain.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I used to, when Chris and I would, do hanky panky, we used to shut the dogs out of the door, like out of the room, and they would scratch on the door during it. And I started to Pavlov's dogs. The scratching of dogs on a door would like make me a little bit horny.
Yeah.
Because it would remind me of the feeling I was feeling during that. It was starting to like, those were combining. You can't fuck with your
No, you can retrain your brain. It's just like practicing
being
a scale
turned on. Don't put something with that. Yes.
Yeah. It's like anything. You can do that with literally anything. Like I was in an MRI last month or 2 months ago, or no, a long time ago, actually, like 8 months ago.
Whoa. And
I freaked out in the MRI. I couldn't handle it. And I had to get out. And I had like a panic attack. And then I somehow in my brain, that anxiety I felt, I connected with the crown that I got put into my mouth on my tooth crown. And so every time I touched the crown of my tooth, I felt the anxiety of being in the MRI.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I had to get the crown removed, and it's been gone for many months. So now I think I'm like over it. But
I don't understand, because the crown was like contributing to the pain that you were getting checked on for the MRI?
No, the MRI was for my gallbladder, but the crown was just a moment of anxiety, and I was
you were touching it with your tongue, probably, right?
Maybe, yeah. Like I would touch it with my tongue, and then I would feel a little bit of anxiety, and then I would think about the MRI. And if you do that enough times, and if you get scared, and then I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't connect this. And now you get a little scared, and then I focus on it. If you do it enough times, then all of a sudden it's automatic, and then every time you touch the tongue, you're back in the MRI. And you could do that with anything. You could also do that with positive things. You could train your brain to do something good for yourself, but most of the time you're driven by fear, and you can't let go of the fear, and so then you wind up connecting things stronger because of that.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so the point is, that's why I get horny every time I'm in an MRI machine.
I would not recommend watching disturbing videos. I don't understand when people want to click those things. I want to read all about them, and I want to read every little detail about what happens.
When I was growing up,
see anything.
I was traumatized by The Ring, the movie.
Oh yeah.
And that's the way it should be. It should be a movie about a demon coming out of a TV, and then every time you see the snow on TV, the static, you freak out. And like, that's healthy amount of trauma.
That's the amount of trauma that you should introduce into your lives.
Yeah, when you're 13 years old or 12 years old.
I don't think it's... I don't really like horror movies, but I really hate like when you talk to somebody who really does, and they just keep going deeper and deeper to the point where they're like watching like Salo, like this like Italian movie that like I've only
is that the one with the tunnel where the rapes?
Yeah, and it's like
where the rapes?
Like I have like several friends who like love this movie, and I'm like, I will never watch it.
Dude, I've read about that movie so much. I don't know if it's exact. Is that the one that is there a tunnel and rapes in it?
Yeah, there's a tunnel and rapes, and then there's like, there's like 120 boys that are like, yeah.
Okay, like sometimes you read these Wikipedia synopsises for these movies, and it's so fucking insane. You can't believe, I just can't believe something like that got made. Yet I can't say like some of the jokes that get censored from us on TV. Like it's just like, how do these both coexist in the same
right?
Like world? I just don't even understand it. And then porn, porn is just, I mean, I think I'm probably traumatized by some of the stuff I've seen in porn.
Porn certainly desensitizes you to sexual activities in real life.
I have to, when I'm watching porn, I have to put in, even if I'm alone, I have to put in my AirPods. I cannot listen to it. Like it has to be this like thing I do that's so... my door is locked on my bedroom, which my bedroom door is always locked. I don't understand anyone who has a home and you go to sleep at night and you don't lock your bedroom door. Let's just like walk through this for a second. If there's a home invasion, you have one more level of security. Always lock your bedroom door.
I don't even have a lock on my bedroom.
I bet you
door.
do.
There's no lock.
Really?
No, it's just a pure.
Get one.
It's a pure solid.
This is interesting because now you're giving me anxiety about this. I am always worried about home invasions. That is like the thing I'm most worried about.
But you have a son.
I'm worried about fires. And in my head, I'm like, I worry that like something's going to burn, and then I'm not going to be like, I don't want to touch the hot handle. Yeah.
Oh, so you leave
do you sleep with the door open?
I sleep with the door open.
Whoa,
like,
that's
because he has a son that needs to like maybe get in.
The son I get the son
bedroom, the bedroom door. I mean, every other door is locked, and
I leave the front door open, and just I lock the bedroom door, leave the front door open.
Well, if you're a single person or like you don't have kids, lock that bedroom door. Give yourself an extra. And I would go. So I worry about fires too, and I've never done this, but I want to get for my fire escape a ladder.
Oh, that's smart.
Like
so
a little ladder.
Isn't it like a built-in ladder for the fire escape?
No,
usually?
sorry, it's not a fire escape. It's just a balcony.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that makes much more sense.
Yeah, that would make no sense to add another ladder.
I want to add a second ladder so that if I have a home invasion, then they can climb down too.
I just like a cloth ladder, and I don't want to get rust on my hands. But okay, so porn though, I have to have door locked, AirPods in. I definitely need it to be like I put my phone on do not disturb. And I'm giving away too much. Now Emily, when she sees like do not disturb is on, she's gonna think I'm like whacking off.
Is that what everyone's doing?
But I put it on do not disturb for a lot of reasons. Mainly that though.
Yeah.
And then I have to close out like it has to be I feel like it's weird though with the AirPods, even when I'm like there's no one that could hear it. I'm home alone. Why I need to do that, but I think it's because I need to keep it in my brain and it can't be like it's too fucked up for anyone to accidentally hear. Not because they're going to judge me, but because I don't want to scar anyone like through a wall. I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's just like a seat. But I also don't have like private like I don't go to like a private window. I'm just like, you know.
Don't go incognito mode?
No, I don't care.
Oh
like, what am I going to do? I just, it's, who's going to catch me? And if they do, I'll just like laugh about it, but I don't want to like actively harm anyone with it.
And then that way they're saving your cookies so they know what you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
You go back in, you don't have to type all that stuff in.
You're not confusing them. Like,
so porn, when you're on privacy mode, they don't like learn about what you want and like curate it.
They do.
They definitely do.
Fuck, incognito mode is a bunch of horse shit.
It really is because it's still like the
it's
time
your
they've done
IP
it.
address that is what they're looking at. If you're not masking that, then they know exactly where you are.
And do you know that like companies are like changing the prices of items based on you like the cookies they learn about you? Like if they just know that you're willing to pay $5 more for a jacket, it should be. But guess what? It's probably no one's regulating this stuff anymore. So
there's no more
Uber
government.
rides. I mean, I have been getting gouged with Uber because they just know I'll just do it. You know, like I am kind of like, oh, whatever. It's $89. Like the friend will open an app. It's $49 for the same ride. Like so I've been going to Lyft a lot because I feel like Lyft like kind of stays true to the price, and they will often be $20 to $30 less for a ride than Uber. Uber just fucks me now.
Yeah, well, so keep switching. That's the only way you can fight against corporations is through pure capitalism. You got to vote with your dollar.
Okay, so that just means you have to like just mix
check
it. You
prices.
can't just always go. Oh,
you have to check.
Okay.
You have to price compare, which is
Yeah.
so annoying, and it's such like a boomer thing to do. But like, you have to do that. That's why. Remember when your like parents would clip coupons and they'd be like, "I'm saving 10 cents," and
Yeah.
you'd be like, "God, who gives a shit?" And you're going through all this effort to clip coupons just to save 10 fucking cents on a can of soup. But really, those
That is
people
for the greater good.
Yes, they were standing between us and corporate greed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. I always chalk it up in my head being like, time is money.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I think too.
Yeah. Well, or my dad, every time my dad, probably a lot of people's parents do this, they clock every single gas station price in town. And they drive by and they go, "Oh my God, that's 10 cents cheaper. Oh my God, that's 20 cents cheaper." And then you get the 20-cent cheaper one, and then you drive 5 more miles and you say, "Oh no, that was $1 cheaper. What the fuck is wrong with me? Why didn't I wait?"
I have an electric car, so I don't go to gas stations anymore.
Okay.
But I will say that I fucking miss it because there's something about filling your tank that makes you feel like you've done something for the day.
Yeah.
Like it's like a chore that's not like it's really not that hard to do. It takes like 7 minutes at most. But when you do it, you feel like so accomplished. Like, I think there's something about like keeping things in your life that just give you little boosts of like, I fucking did something today.
Yeah.
And that one is gone for me. And you get a little treat. You get a little Diet Coke. Pick up a Laffy
Gas
Taffy.
stations are fun.
They are fun.
I mean, they're like a top 5 place I like going.
Agreed.
I kind of love the smell.
Me too.
People watching.
Yeah.
I love people watching at a gas stop.
Yes. There's always something interesting going on. There's always someone doing scratchers that like lives there. There's always a guy who like lets you go ahead of him.
There's always someone eating like the hot dogs or whatever they have in there. They're like, I can't believe anyone actually buys this shit.
And they're being picky about it. They're like, well, let's see what you got today. And they're like actually acting like there's like different selections of the day.
There's always someone who's having the worst day of their life and having to take a shit in the outdoor bathroom.
And let me just say that most of the time, the people that work at gas stations are, I would say across the board, from a mom and pop one you run into on the road to a quick trip that is like in a downtown area. The people that work at them are really nice.
Yeah.
they're always like kind of like having a good time. Like, is there something? I think they're like treated well as employees. From what I
They're
can tell,
living the
they just
dream.
seem like kind of jovial.
Honestly, it is, to me, the best kind of job to have is you're just constantly interacting with people.
Yeah.
And you never have to get to know anyone, really. Like,
Yes.
you're just like kind of having fun. And the day goes by so fast when you're doing that.
Because
you're
it's
like,
just constant.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can tell you this from my experience in the deli that the day did not go by fast for me.
What's
I
the
mean,
fastest time flies for you guys? Like, if you're really thinking about it, like if we're, time is a construct and it's not real or whatever, but like, when do you find time goes by the fastest?
like what
Anytime I'm
activity
not
are you
doing anything. Anytime.
really?
What? That's like
Yeah.
the opposite.
I
That
feel
is.
like
That's why-
I
that's
feel like
interesting.
when I have like an actual time, like after I've like completed all my work and stuff, and I'm like, now I can like just do all the stuff I want to do. Time flies, and I'm like, oh no,
Wait, time goes fast when you have nothing to do.
yeah,
When you're like watching shows and you're like, oh, I want to relax, like, and now I can like treat myself. That's when it's like it's never enough.
it's
Uh-huh.
never enough.
Yeah,
like,
I
It's
agree
not
with
like a
that.
procrastination thing where you're like, I have all this stuff I want to get done. It's more just like, now I get some time for myself where I can watch TV or whatever.
yeah,
and
it's
that's
just watching TV or doing like playing like a weird game with Nolan. Like I'm like, it flies by, but then like if I'm like working, it's like
Oh, yes.
it's like slow and normal.
If there's
and,
a
like,
deadline and you are under a time crunch, it speeds past because you're just depending on
Yeah.
it going slower. If you're, someone, there's always a meme about like if you want time to like, if you want to like make your life last longer, just hold a plank because it's like the slowest time that
yeah.
you ever go.
yeah.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever felt this like in such a profound way where you see something and you're like, that was a year ago. That feels like literally
yeah.
3 years ago. I think everyone feels this. This is literally Mandela effect. I think that they are fucking with us. The Willy Wonka, remember the Willy Wonka like experience
Yeah.
that was really shitty?
yeah,
That was like that a girl was like, it just like looked depressing. It was like the Fire Fest of like a kind of, child
It
wonder
was like in a
immersion.
warehouse or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was like
Yeah.
in England or Scotland or something.
yeah.
I don't
It was
remember that.
incredible. Yeah, the Oompa
That was
Loompa.
1 year ago. To me, I would have at least said it was 2. It's like that. That was wild to me. And I went through the comments being like, someone else has got to feel this way. Literally everyone felt that way. Everyone said felt like 5 years. And I was like, I cannot believe that was 1 year ago. That is really crazy to me.
Here's a question for you. How many years ago did Russia invade Ukraine this time around? What year
Okay,
was
I'm
that?
going to say that was 3 years ago.
4 is my guess.
Oh, yeah, it was 3 years ago. So you have it right.
Oh, okay.
It was 2022 and almost exactly to the day.
To the day. Yeah, I know it
February
was the anniversary
24th.
the other day, but I didn't realize what year it was.
Yeah. So does
That
it feel like
feels-
doesn't it feel like that Russia invaded Ukraine like 4 months ago? Can you believe they've been fighting for
that
3
seems-
fucking years?
Really long.
Yeah.
But it's
like
I
World
always,
War II was 4 years for us, for America. For America, it was 4 years. The Ukraine war has been going on for almost the entire length that America was involved in World War II.
COVID? What about
Yeah.
fucking COVID, dude? That was 5 years ago.
Yeah, that
That
feels
is
like
so nuts. That's a big chunk of your life. Like I
Well-
look like at pictures of myself in 2020 and I'm like, your eyebrows are an inch higher. Like
Yeah.
my face looks like I'm a
Oh, to go
child.
back.
And I felt like I was so old then. Like I literally feel like I'm the same age at 2020 as I am now. I have not
Yeah.
aged whatsoever.
yeah.
Mature-wise.
I'm so pissed. I'm still pissed off about COVID, just because I do feel like I lost my mid 30s, and I'm so pissed off about it that I like emerged as a late 30s guy, and like
Mhm.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we're just like we're stunted. We're
We're all stunted.
we
Yeah.
lost 4 years because that's what
Yeah,
that is. Like
that's
I
the
look at those
tricky part
pictures and I go,
about
my
COVID.
face looks so young, but I feel like I'm that same age.
Mhm.
And I think is that that's probably a universal feeling. Noah, do you feel the same way? Like
Actually,
That-
hearing Sean describe it like that makes total sense because I feel like I lost out on living the last of my 30s because of
Yeah.
COVID.
yeah,
We were-
everyone
we were-
feels like they were robbed of whatever time that was.
Yeah. But COVID's a tricky one about.
What were we supposed to be doing in our late 30s? Let's talk about this though, because I think some people lost high school, some people lost their late 20s. I mean, that's
that's
when you still
the
energy.
kids.
My heart goes out to them, but I feel like my late 30s were supposed to be me and my girlies going out.
Well, it didn't make
They
me
say
excited
that-
to turn 40. I didn't even celebrate my 40th birthday. I was just like,
Oh
who
yeah,
cares?
that's bullshit.
They always told me the late 30s are the best years of your life, and you're gonna look back on your late 30s and think, man, those were the days.
Yeah.
Man, I know, but at least we discovered Zoom. Like, we got
The early days of COVID when we were like, let's play games on Zoom.
I
Remember that?
liked COVID. I know that this is not an original thing to say or like makes me interesting and cool, but like I was very wildly depressed during COVID for a lot of it, but there was, man, I don't know. I do think we'll get that back at some point. I think there will be another pandemic or something
The
that
bats.
keeps us all like inside, you know?
Or just climate change.
Yeah, and that will keep us holed up or war or something that will like steal our ability to socialize and work for a while. But what a delicious time where everyone really couldn't work. I really
yeah.
I love when the race was canceled. Like I love running. I love competing, but man, when the race is canceled and it's not I'm injured and have to sit it out. It's like everyone's injured. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're 100% right. I love like everyone was even. Like
Yes.
everyone was working the same exact
Until people
amount.
started doing Zoom comedy shows and I go, "You stop it."
Yeah,
right
or
now.
well, it really happened with TikTok. I mean, there was
yeah.
while we were all playing fucking catchphrase on Zoom, there were people who were making TikTok videos.
I know.
and
They were
making,
doing the renegade
getting
and we were
millions of
laughing about
followers.
it. Yeah.
And now they were able to leave COVID with a worldwide tour.
All right. We're going to go to break and come back after this.
We have to just announce because it's blowing up. Nikki was on Armchair Expert with Dax Shephard.
Oh.
People are loving it.
Really?
We just gotta let people know that.
Okay. Yes. I am on Armchair Expert with Dax Shephard. Probably, I'm going to say it, the most fun podcast I've ever been a guest on. That is no shade to any other podcast because I've had so much fun, but I was really nervous going into it because I wasn't an avid listener beforehand. You know, I kind of binged some episodes beforehand and like right before, and I've obviously watched the clips a ton, and I have a lot of good friends. Like I think all of my like, you know, like my smartest friends like listen to the show, so I had like a respect for it. I like Dax, I like Monica, I liked the vibe. But I was a little bit nervous going in because I just didn't. I feel the whole booking was off. I felt was off of a joke I made about Dax Shephard that I told on Howard Stern show.
Mm-hmm.
About how, you know, the Golden Globes brings everyone from TV and film together for one common purpose: to get out of here without Dax Shephard inviting us, you know, asking them to do their podcast. And so they like heard the joke and they laughed about it. And Monica wrote me and was like, "You got to come on the show," or I forget how it went down, but it was something like that. So I was kind of nervous that they were going to be like, "Who do you think you are making a joke like that?" But they were so cool. And I just like, I don't know. I've just instantly felt so at ease. They had a really great studio. The way they just get started, you just sit down. They're just so nice. And I just felt, I saw you guys right after. Like I came from
you were
recording.
on cloud 9.
I loved it. I felt so emotionally connected to both of them. I felt like, you know, a lot of times you record a podcast and you forget that there are cameras there and you're just like having a moment. And I felt like I learned about myself. I learned about them. Like it was
lot
just
of people like what you had to
fulfilling.
say. There was a topic, weed topic, whatever that was.
yeah.
It's really resonating with people.
That's the one I'm getting people.
Resonated.
So
That's like
many
that's a pun.
people are writing to me about the weed stuff that I was talking about, how I struggle with like giving it up. And it's like been the hardest thing to like kind of get like completely eradicate from my life. And man, it is the one thing I struggle with, you guys. And so it is so nice that so many people are writing to me about it, saying that they struggle with it too, because it's all these people that I'm like, oh, I'm not alone. So like, not only was I able to make them feel less alone, them writing to me is making me feel like, oh, good, this isn't just me. And it's like a bunch of normal people that don't, you know, like I can see their profile pictures and they're like normal people that you'd be like, I want to be that girl. And she's struggling with the same fucking thing. And so it's really nice.
Another honorable mention in pop culture. Actually, I have two, but this one was really cool. A new season of The Kardashians. Kim gives you a really nice shout out on the roast episode.
I know I couldn't even watch it because I was like nervous to see it because but I saw the screenshot of it and I heard that she said that Nikki killed it or something like that.
Wow.
And then the third Nikki in pop culture is Shaquille O'Neal wants Nikki to roast him.
Oh yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right.
Incredible. I mean, he's the Kim Kardashian of the NBA to me.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is really exciting. He did DM me and was like, please roast me. And and that was
He DM'd
really
you? Oh my
thrilling.
gosh.
Yeah, that was that soundbite came out like I would say he DM'd me like, what was it? You guys were all over at my place when he DM'd me and I made you all guess who just DM'd me, and it was a really fun guessing game. And you all got it eventually, but it was like
we were writing the Black Friday Thursday.
Oh yeah, so it was like it was around
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving where Shaq slid into my DMs and was just like, please roast me. And I was like, I'd love to. And he was like, you know, just said really nice things.
Last night on the TNT postgame show which Shaq is on, there was like a really strange moment where like the host of the show, who I'm not sure it's like an ex-basketball player, he's like a white guy and he doesn't seem like he was an athlete.
Ernie?
But he was like, is it Ernie? Who is that guy?
Yeah, he's just a regular broadcaster.
He's just a regular guy. And he was like, we have these clips of Shaq when he went to the Lakers and he had to play against his old team, the Magic. And Shaq was like, don't play those clips. And then he's like, oh, come on. He was like, I think he was like talking to the producer saying, don't play the clips. Nobody wants to see these clips. That was from 30 years ago. I'm Uncle Shaq now to people. No one remembers me as that other guy. That's a different guy. Don't play the clips. And then Ernie was like, play the clips. They played the clips. And then afterwards, I don't know if it was a bit or what, but Shaq seemed genuinely angry.
Not a bit.
I get it though, because when you see young Shaq, he's so muscular. He's so fit.
Is that what it is?
He's faster. He's stronger. He was like 7'1" and like 320 of just pure muscle. And now when you see Shaq, he is like an elderly friendly giant. It's got to be hard for him to see that and know how much it hurts to get out of bed.
Well, I never related to someone more than Ernie after that did this thing where he was like, he was like thinking in his head, like, I'm going to do this thing, even though he's saying no, he doesn't really mean no, and he's going to like it. Then afterwards, we're all going to be buddies. And then they did it, and he's actually mad. And then Ernie did this thing after the video, and it says, wasn't that good or wasn't that nice? And then he holds out his hand to shake Shaq's hand, which is such a weird thing to do.
Because he was just like, he was trying to confirm and like get, get reassurance that everything was okay. Like when you're floundering like that, you just want some kind of like a human touch to be like, it's okay.
And then Shaq slapped his hand away and said, get the hell out of here, man.
Oh no.
And I never related to someone more than Ernie in that moment where he's just like, oh my God, he's actually mad at me. I don't know what to do.
You take it too far. Yeah.
And then it's just like, anyway, the Warriors also played.
Oh my God.
Well, Nikki, Shaq's quote in the article is, Nikki, you can say whatever you want about me, my mama, my kids. Let's do it. So you get a pass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of guy you want.
Just don't remind me what I was like when I was 22.
Yeah, I relate to Shaq too with like, I don't like when people like play clips of me from when I was young because it's just jarring. You like can see your age way more clearly when it's juxtaposed with how young you are. And it reminds people of like, you are becoming slowly irrelevant. You're like decaying before their eyes. And like, it's just, or like I was like, 20 pounds thinner or something. And like, you would never think that I'm like overweight or like not thin right now. But then you're like, whoa, look at her potential. And it's just like makes for like a weird vibe. Final thought. I would even say if there was a picture of me from before where I look not good, like when I was on Jay Leno or when I did not safe and my hair was like bleached and cropped and I didn't know how to wear makeup. I hate seeing those pictures too because it reminds people of the potential for how ugly I can be. And I don't want them to think that that can happen again. Like, I don't want any record of me ever. I just want it to be now. I just want to live in the present. I don't like motion pictures. I don't like pictures. I just want everything to be live. I would have done really well in Shakespearean times where it's like you're famous if you perform live and that's it.
Yeah. The only
there's a cutoff though.
The only types of pictures that are okay is when you're like a kid Like you go
Yes.
13 and younger, you can show
Yes.
those.
Because I can't go back to that. But if it's
Yeah.
like you're 21 plus,
Yeah.
no.
No.
You just see you, but younger and full of life. Like,
Oh, I
and
love baby pictures. I can't
Yeah.
get enough of them. I want them of everyone. Never get tired of it. Love it.
There are pictures of me in my young 20s where I don't have a beard. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to see that shit.
I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, no one's seeing that shit.
God, I would love to see you without a beard.
No.
Come on,
I think
next
it's
week.
really weird when people get like nervous about like, don't show my baby picture. Or when I was like like 7 years old, I'm just like, well, no
That's
one
odd.
cares what you were like that. Like,
Yeah.
no one's
It's
gonna
funny
judge
if you
based on that.
if you looked weird back then, that's funny. Whereas
Yeah.
if you looked weird when you were 25 or you looked good when you were 25, it's not funny.
Yeah. I mean, high school too. High school, that's fine too. Like that when people get
High
weird about
school's
high
okay.
school, I'm like, I assume you were a dork. Everyone, if you are
Yeah.
cool, you were definitely a dork then. Like, I don't. Anyone who was cool in high school, I'm not that
No.
like intrigued or impressed by that.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about
Yeah.
people who are cool in high school when they're
What-
adults. Like,
Is there a way to tell kids in high school that it doesn't matter that we'll really get through
Oh
to them?
my god!
Because
Can we
like
go back in time and tell ourselves that so that we
But
can?
like, would you
crush-
listen?
Probably not.
No,
I
because
think-
it's all you know.
I mean, that song. I wish I knew what I knew now. Now that I'm older, I mean, that's like the number one thing I'd want.
Okay,
to do.
so let's go around the horn. If you had, if you could talk to your 17-year-old self, what would you tell
no,
them?
it needs to be younger. It needs to be 13.
Oh,
13 or
really? Okay,
14.
so
Yeah.
13 for you.
Entering high school.
Okay, 13 entering high school. What would you tell your 13-year-old self?
I mean,
one
not to
sentence.
sound.
One sentence.
You can have sex with anybody you want in this school.
No, but no one's gonna believe that. Where are you?
yeah.
That's what I would say.
Even
Yeah,
the
you're
administration. That is not
All you need is
okay.
confidence. All you need is confidence.
Okay,
and
all
can
you
have
need
sex
is
with
confidence.
any-
Wouldn't be like, get
and you can
away
have sex
from
with
me,
any girl in
pedophile.
this. All you have to do is go up and say, do you want to go out for a date? Do you want to go on a date? And they'll do it. Like that's
Dude,
how.
Brian, that is not true.
That's
the
how little
most
people know.
confident dorks. No, confident dorks still can't get laid. I'm sorry, it's not all about confidence. It's about.
it's all about
It's
confidence,
about.
guys.
It's not about. It's actually about actually liking yourself, and that is so hard to do. It's not about pretending to be confident because that's.
So much of a young boy's high school career is spent. So much energy is spent trying to get laid and trying to fit and being scared of going up to girls. You can watch it on. There's people on TikTok who are Uggs, major Uggs, who prove it. Where they go up to girls and they hit on them and they get their number and they're like, all it took was me to actually just do it.
But that's
Okay.
not high school. High school, like Riz doesn't come into play in high school.
Totally, it doesn't.
Yeah, like I
Nah.
feel like I
Riz
mean,
did.
as
Social
somebody who
standing.
was a total Rizmeister, it did not come into play. It was like they want a beautiful boy at that point. Like that is what they're really looking for. I feel.
Noah, what
But
would
then
you
when-
say? Oh, sorry.
I would say nobody cares that you're poor and you live in a tiny apartment. Invite friends over.
Okay,
Oh,
would you
that's
believe
good.
that person though? But yes, that's like you just wish you could shake like you.
Yes. I wish I could
Yeah.
shake myself and be like, the poor thing is your mom or like your parents. It's
It's not your fault.
Kids don't
Mhm.
care about what class you're in.
So
You know
would
what
your
I mean?
mom like project that onto you? Like people don't want to come over here because we're poor.
Not that part of it, but like other things about
Got it.
presenting poor and all that stuff.
Right. So it was like a complex for you of like
Mm.
people can't know I'm poor.
And I had boys come over that a friend of mine knew, and they made a comment. They're like, "How many people live here?" And that like stuck with me, and I just never
But
invited
I
anyone
wouldn't
over.
go. Okay, I'm really sorry to say this, but I think in high school people do judge you if you're poor. Like people are assholes. Like the
Yeah.
thing about high school is they're all fucking losers, and their brains aren't developed, and they're like mean. And the real thing is like it won't matter later.
But I was zoned, like I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, so there was no like rich mansions or anything like that where I grew up.
Right.
It's everyone lived in an apartment, basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I would go back to my 13-year-old self and I would say, take all of your bar mitzvah money and invest it in Amazon.
Okay.
That's all you
see,
need to know.
That's a good one.
And then you'll be able to have sex with anybody you want.
Yeah, exactly.
That is good.
What about
advice.
you, Nikki? What would you say?
I would say take singing lessons and guitar lessons now, and don't give up. And
God.
That's a good
I would
one.
say you sucking is part of it.
Yeah.
I would say no one that you are not, you can be as good as anyone you want to be if you just work hard enough. And I know that they try to tell us that like practice makes perfect, you'll see. They like teach us these songs about
And
like everything
even
is
that
practice.
song, they're too good.
Yeah. I just didn't believe that not being good at something right away meant you couldn't be good at something if you tried hard enough. If you like something enough and do it enough, you can be just as good at someone who is naturally inclined to it. And you can be better than them. That's what I would tell myself.
Sure, especially if you put in more work than the person if the person who's naturally inclined to
just
doesn't put in
didn't
the work. Sometimes the person who's naturally inclined
Doesn't put in the
too
work.
naturally inclined, so they don't feel like they have to put in the work, and then there is a point
Johnny
where you
Manziel.
can surpass them.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Manziel, maybe Luca, we don't know.
Yeah.
No, Luca's so good. I love Luca.
Is he drinking too much beer? Is that why the Mavs got rid of him?
I think 13 years old and 26 years old, I'd say the same thing. Don't listen to your friends. Just do what makes you happy. Stop thinking trying is gay. Makes you gay.
Yeah.
Like that was
Okay.
a big.
Well, this is so much more prescient
What if
for
we're in
you.
our 60s? What would we tell ourselves now?
Oh my God.
Like if you could predict what we would say, like if when we're like, recording a reel like Jane Fonda does, where she like talks to like people in their 40s.
Well, see, so I have a neighbor who's now 92, and I've asked her this question. I was like, is there anything you can tell me? Like, what can you tell me to make, what would you tell me? What would you tell you if you were my age? And she goes, I don't fucking know.
You should have asked her for 5 years ago. I think right now she's just too exhausted.
I don't know what to say.
I will say that
based on her behavior, I can say this. The number one, I think this is without a doubt, scientific. The number one way to live a long life is to not worry.
Yeah.
The people who don't worry, who go, oh, whatever, that happened, this happened, I don't care. Those are the people who live until they're 100 years old.
Yeah. I did tell, like, I met some kids from Harvard this weekend.
Okay. Wow.
And they were like, they weren't asking for advice, but I just felt the need to give it. And I said, if you want to, they were all like, comedy writers and people who were interested in comedy. I'm like, the one thing I will tell you that I think will make you all succeed more than your peers, and that's what you're going to need, because all of you work extremely hard and you're going to be at the top, trying to make it past that person that's right next to you about to win the race. If you want to inch ahead and do something that they cannot do, quit drinking. I go, you all like drinking right now. I promise you, is the one thing that none of them that keep drinking will ever look to as a reason why they're not succeeding, but it truly will give you such a huge advantage that only you will know after you stop. And then it's the same way I feel about not having kids right now. Like I'm getting to, I have more energy to work right now than other women my age that have kids that are in the same position as me. I mean, some of them are managing to do it, but it's like this advantage by opting out of this thing that drains you. It's really fun. Drinking's really fun. You're going to miss out on a lot. Having kids is really fun. You're going to miss out on a lot. But if you are wanting to succeed in your job and you want energy to do that, don't drink. And they were all like, kind of like, whoa. And I'm like, but you don't have to do that until I quit when I was 27. Quit when you're 27. You have many years ahead of you.
27. Yeah. I have a counterpoint though to that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't drink. I'm the example of the person who didn't drink.
Right.
I stopped drinking when I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was legal, I stopped drinking. And I think that if I drank in the comedy scene in New York coming up, I probably would have been slightly more successful, because so many connections were made. So many connections were made just by staying up late, hanging out at the bar, and drinking with these folks.
I tell someone like you who doesn't drink to drink, because I don't think you're ever going to have a problem with it, and I think that it could help you socialize and like be more ingratiated in the scene. But most of the people I was talking to were hungover.
Yeah,
And I was like,
and they were
you all-
currently drinking as well.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And I thought, but I do agree with you. I think that you could have used a couple, like, that's why I've been like, Brian, you should have hit the vape pen, and you should have, like, I think it would benefit you to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think in your early 20s, if you move to New York or any like cool comedy scene, it's important to drink a little bit or a lot for a little bit to make those connections, and then quit before you embarrass yourself or humiliate yourself, because then that sticks with people.
Yeah, like Sean,
And
didn't
people
you?
can't do it. It's such a hard thing to do. People do not quit
Sure.
drinking, and it's if you can do that, you can do anything.
I can think of a list of dozens and dozens of comedians who didn't quit when they were supposed to, drinking and comedy, I guess, and they went too far, and now it's like when you get into like your mid-30s and you're just like trashed at the comedy show, or then it becomes like, oh, you have a problem.
It's
when you're
really
in your mid-20s and you're just like, let's party, let's hang out, then you're making friends that in the future you could work together with.
I kind of noticed, like, scrolling through Instagram, just like people that, like, I started with or like I met along the way, and like they're like still holding a drink on stage and they just look fucked up, and it's
I think drinking on stage is so disrespectful. I can't, like, it's just like you're going to see a performer who's like getting worse at what they're doing.
I think people like that. I mean,
no,
I think
people love it, and obviously, I don't like. I've been high on stage before. I don't really think it makes you worse at what you're doing. Like, I always, whenever I brought a drink on stage, it was like to look cool.
Yeah.
it's a
And so
crutch.
I think it's kind of and I also think it's like it sends a bad message to your audience that you don't respect them because you're like becoming more dumb when you drink.
some people go on stage with puppets.
That's
yeah.
drunk puppets.
Yeah, no one's ever looked cool with a puppet.
No, but there are some people that pull off drinking on stage it is part of the act and it's part of their persona, and I'm not coming for them when I say
Like
that.
Ron
I just
White.
think it's,
Like
Exactly.
I don't think I could watch Ron
think
White
he-
without holding.
I think he
a
quit
drink.
drinking though.
Oh,
maybe.
now he just holds a cup.
We got to get him back on it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We got to go. We will see you next week on the show. Shows this weekend in Canada. Can't wait to go up there. Worried about customs. Always have anxiety that something's up my ass, like some hair, like that I'm smuggling something into the country. I will not be. But there's always a guilt. Sean, I'll see you there. I hope you have a safe flight. I'm going to Victoria.
Victoria and Vancouver.
But like in America, what you're doing this weekend?
Wait, what am I doing? Oh, Oscars! Oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm going to the Oscars Vanity Fair party on Sunday night. So we will
cool.
have a recap of that. And then on Monday, I will be on Kelly Ripa and Mark live on Monday morning to talk about the Oscars. So tune into both those things. I can't believe I'm not going to do the podcast until I do all of that stuff. Wild Weekend. I'm also doing Nardwar in Vancouver if you're a fan of that. So that'll be fun. Big weekend.
ready.
Tons of work, tons of fun. Gonna go crazy with Nardwar. Yeah, I'm gonna scream a lot and go, whoa, how do you remember that thing from my past?
Yeah, and he's gonna give you a
Fun.
bunch. He's gonna give you a Taylor Swift album of some kind.
Yes! I
Yeah.
can't wait. It'll be so fun. Thank you guys for listening. Love you, besties. Don't be good. Bye.